Hey guys, we are in the basement, and today we're gonna check out and review a new game that I just picked up. You know, I did a bunch of trades, my buddy Jay, and one of the games I picked up was a 1987 Nintendo R-Type. That's right, R-Type, you know, one of the oldest shoot-em-ups. I mean, it's a really cool and hard game. So we're gonna go to the garage, we're gonna check it out, we're gonna work on it a little bit, because we gotta fix a couple very minor details, and then we're gonna play the game. And let me tell you, this game is awesome and brutally hard. So anyway, why don't we go to the garage and let's check out that R-Type. All right, guys, here is the R-Type, and you know, I've always wanted one of these, because at one point in my collecting career, I had like every Nintendo game. I don't anymore. I've sold a bunch of them, but I was kind of like all about Nintendo. I had to have every Nintendo cabinet, and I actually did almost have all of them, but I never had R-Type, and that was like the one game that I was missing. And now I finally have one, but my Nintendo row is long gone. And you know, I used to have like Radar Scope and Popeye and Donkey Kong 1 and Junior and 3. I still have all of those. And I had a Nintendo Versus cabinet, I had Punch-Out, I had a Play Choice 10, and the Nintendo Versus Dual System, and I was missing R-Type, and I was missing a couple of oddball ones too, like Sheriff and was it Sky Skipper or something, and a bunch of the really old shooters. But anyway, I never had an R-Type, and so I traded. Oh, that Journey! You know, it plays that song during the attract for like 2 seconds. Anyway, I never had this cabinet, and this is an original dedicated R-Type. It was released in 1987 by Nintendo. Now, R-Type was developed by Irem, or however you want to say it, and Irem was a Japanese developer. They actually did a bunch of iconic games that came over to the US, but were distributed by other companies. Like they did Moon Patrol. Like everyone knows Moon Patrol. I used to have a Moon Patrol. Williams actually distributed that in the US, but it was developed by Irem. Irem also did Kung Fu Master. Remember Kung Fu Master? I love that game. That was, I think it was distributed by Data East in the US. So they've been around forever, and R-Type is actually a pretty significant game because it's one of the very first side-scrolling shmups or shoot-em-ups. And really, I didn't play a lot of R-Type when I was younger because actually Gradius was my game. I loved freaking Gradius, which is the great Konami classic, and actually predates R-Type by about a year. But Gradius for me was just perfection. And the thing about Gradius though is that it was on the NES. It was on the Nintendo Entertainment System. So I got to play a lot of Gradius when I was younger. I actually have it now on my Nintendo Versus Red Tent. But R-Type never came to the NES, and I never really got to play it when I was younger. I believe they did make a port for the Sega Master System, but I was just not a Sega guy. You know, I never had any Sega consoles. I hated Sega. I was a Nintendo fanboy pretty much from day one. And so because of that, I never got to really play a lot of R-Type. I did, however, play R-Type when it was released on the PSP, because there was like an R-Type collection or something, and they had the arcade, a straight arcade port. I even think you had to coin up on the PSP version, but that was a pretty good version of R-Type. And so that's really where I played it the most, I think, was on the PSP. And I know I played it here or there. I probably played the arcade version. But anyway, here it is. We got it. And I actually traded my buddy Jay for this. I'm trading my Star Wars and my Multi-Williams to Jay. And in return, I'm getting the R-Type, the Robotron, which I already have in the basement, and then a 720, which we're going to be getting in about a week or so. So I went and picked this up, and overall, it's in pretty good shape. It's not perfect though. It's got some scars here. This is a cheap kind of particle board cabinet, and you can kind of see that stuff. I haven't really decided how far I'm going to go with this cabinet, but you can see right here, it's chewed up. This right here, I could probably fix this with some wood glue and just clamp it down. But overall, it's original. It's all here. It's got some issues here. It's missing a button. We're going to address that right now, actually. We're actually just going to go through the game really quick and just make it presentable and playable. not spend a lot of time. This is by no means a restore video, but I know I have the button that we could put on here, so we should fix that. I do want to address the dip switch settings and put it on free play. It's got the coin door here. You can see how many plays it has. It's got 35,472 plays, which is, oh man, I'm always so bad at the math. See, 35,000, how much money did this game make in the arcade? Let me pull out my calculator here on the phone. So 35,472, let's take a look. So 35,472, and then if we multiply that times 25 cents, okay, so this game made almost $9,000 in the arcades. And you know, the operators, they probably, I don't know what this game sold for back in the day, maybe $1,500, $2,000, $1,000. I bet you this game was somewhere around $1,000, $1,500. So it probably, you know, these guys probably made 8 times their money on it, and so that's cool. So yeah, it is all original. This is the original Sharp XM 2001 monitor, which is very similar to the Sanyo's, because the Sanyo 20 EZs are the monitors you're going to find in most Nintendo cabinets, like Donkey Kong, Popeye, Donkey Kong Jr., Donkey Kong 3, Radar Scope, etc. And then later they went to this Sharp, which is a fine monitor. You'll find this monitor a lot in dedicated Play Choice 10s and Punch-Outs. And the monitor actually looks pretty good. I did spend a little bit of time adjusting it, not too much. Down here in the cabinet, we've got a weird-looking transformer. That's all original. And we have the power supply right here. And then we've got the PCB cage right here. And you can, if you look through there, you can see there's a little access hole for the dip switches. What else? It's a pretty cheaply made cabinet. This cabinet is actually the same cabinet that Nintendo used for the dedicated Play Choice 10s, the single monitors, which I had. And they also used this same cabinet for the dedicated single monitor Nintendo Versus games, except it was gray and not black. The Play Choice 10 was also black. It's got actually a speaker grill up here, which is different for Nintendo, because Nintendo on Donkey Kong's, the speaker grill was below, like right over here, and this was actually a little bit taller. This marquee is a little bit faded, which is really common. The colors kind of get washed out. Nintendo had a real problem with these kind of Translite Mylar marquees, because all the Nintendo Versus ones are like this. They all fade. But Rich at thisoldgame.com actually has a reproduction of this marquee. I think I'm going to order it because the colors on this are just not popping, and it's a pretty badass marquee. You got to admit, the artwork is sick on it. So, all right, so what do you guys want to do? The one thing I want to do, actually I want to do a couple things in this video. I want to do 3 things in this, actually 4 things in this video. I want to fix the button issue right now. I also noticed that this coin door is locked. I have no keys for it. And I'd like to get in there and see what's hiding in there. And I want to tell you guys something too. When you get a game, and if something is locked, like this is right here, don't just assume that you need to drill the lock. The key might be hiding somewhere. And a lot of times it'll be hiding inside the coin door. On a lot of coin doors, they'll have like a little hook here, and there'll be a key hanging. And so like if you see a back door that has a lock on it, or like on a pinball machine, the Translite has a lock, look inside the coin door first and just see if the key is there. And unfortunately, the key is not here. So we're gonna have to drill that lock out. And also, you might find the keys sometimes hiding out inside the back here. You know, sometimes I'll see an operator has like screwed the key to the wall. That's not the case. We just don't have the key. So we're gonna have to drill that lock. I want to fix the button issue here, and also I want to do the dip switch settings, and then we'll play a game. Let's play as some R-Type. This game is brutally hard, guys. It's a tough game, let me tell you. So why don't I get the tripod set up? I think the first thing we're going to address, though, is the control panel. Okay, so I want to take the control panel off, because we got to replace these buttons, because these buttons are all wrong. Originally, it had black, red, and then like blue, green. And these are Nintendo-style buttons, which are very, not special, but they're just kind of unique to themselves, the way that the concave is, and I think these ones here are all original. So I think we're going to take this blue one, black one, and put it here, and then maybe we have another red one. I have a bag full of Nintendo buttons, so let's see what we can do, but we definitely got to fix it because we're missing a button completely right here, and I'm pretty positive that the actual switch is in here, just the button itself is missing. So let's take the control panel off, and I want to just pull out the Molex here so we can bring it over to the table. And just gonna go ahead and disconnect the control panel, and let's bring it over to our bench here. And this isn't hard at all, but it's something I gotta do, so I figured I'd share it with you guys. So, okay, so basically, I need to put a black button here, and let me take a look at, so I've got an old Versus control panel right here that I think we can borrow a button from. Actually not, because this is supposed to be blue and green. I need to put the black here. I need to find a red button. Let me check out my bag of Nintendo buttons here. So I have a red button right there. And actually, this collar, look at that. So we could repair that one. Looks like this button broke at some point, and they've got a red collar but a black button. I could actually fix that and use this red collar. Or we could just stick this guy in here. This looks a little bit long, though. We're gonna have, is this the same? I don't know. Let's pull one of the buttons off and just take a peek at it. Let me get my, let me get some pliers. So this one, this button right here definitely has to go, because it's ugly. I don't have a green button though. Alright, so that journey's going to drive me insane. I'm not sure if I'm going to roll with the attract in there. Is that right? I think it is, actually. It looks a little bit long. So let's compare it to this red button I have. Yeah, that's the same. Okay, so we can use this red button. And so let's see what we have here. There's a little spacer, huh? I gotta see if the other spacer's in the bottom of the cabinet. Alright, so we've got a red for here. We need a black, which I can pull off of my, I do have, here's a black. I'm not sure if this is original Nintendo or not. I don't think it is. Let's see. So here's an original Nintendo blue one. It's got some cigarette marks on it. These right here are reproduction blue ones from Mike's Arcade. They're okay. Here's an original blue. So we've got that blue one. So the only button I'm missing is green. Yeah, I don't have a green one. We can just put something else on there. How about orange? We'll just put an orange on there for now. This is an original from a Donkey Kong, I believe. Yeah, this has much sharper edges. The Versus stuff and the newer Nintendo buttons, they got a little bit softer on the edges, I think. That's totally original. That's original. And then why don't we pull off the black one off of this Play Choice 10. And we also get a spacer that we need. Okay, so I've got a black one. All right, so force is black, so let's put a black one in here. And fire is red. Okay, so that takes care of that. So let's go on the back. And then on these Nintendos, you want to put a spacer, at least from this era. There's a spacer, and then this goes on top of that, like so, and then we just tighten down our Pel nut. And these are micro switch buttons, which Nintendo used a lot. Actually, pretty much exclusively they use micro switches. Actually, I believe I have this wrong. You guys hear that hum with the Journey? I gotta rebuild that audio amp. But at least it's working. What do you guys think of the Attract like that? Do you like having the song played during Attract? I kind of think it's cool. It's definitely unique. I mean, come on. A cassette player, Attract mode, that's pretty badass. I'm gonna get really sick of that song though. Alright, so let's put red in here. And where's our spacer? Where the hell did the spacer go? Ah, it's jammed underneath here. The spacer kind of got jammed in there, so let me just get like a screwdriver to get it out. Okay. I do think this R-Type artwork is pretty badass. Like the artwork on the side art is really cool, the marquee is cool, the control panel overlay is cool. This game's got a lot going for it, except it's brutally hard. Okay, so we got those on. I'm just gonna hand tighten the Pel nuts, and you can see how this works. So when you push the button, it engages that switch. And okay, so now we gotta address this one, because this is supposed to be blue and green. That's definitely not right. So let's pop this one off. And I think I'm just going to throw a blue one on there, and we'll just do blue and black until I can find a green one. Okay, so I'm just gonna use, Jesus. Man, that thing is on there. There we go. Alright, so we kind of have this Frankenstein button that we're going to just throw out. And I think we'll just use this blue button. This isn't the right colors for the 1 and 2 player start, but I don't have a green button, so I'm going to have to just look for one of those. But this is better than what was on there. Okay. How's it look? Yeah, better than it was. Okay, so let's put it back on the game. Actually, one thing I do want to do really quick, and I always do this whenever I get a new game, I want to clean the glass on the monitor since I have the control panel off. Because a lot of times this will make a pretty big difference with the picture of the monitor, and I have no idea how dirty this thing is. So let's see. It's not too bad. Let me get some Windex here and a paper towel. And when you're spraying Windex in here, you gotta be careful. I had the game on too, so I'm just gonna spray the paper towel and not the monitor. Yeah, it's not too bad actually. Some of these games though, I'll buy them and the monitor is unbelievably filthy. I mean, you wouldn't believe the amount of grime and dust that comes off of these monitors. And it really can make the picture significantly better. Like, I have thought before that there was something wrong with the monitor, and it turns out it was just a dirty monitor. And so definitely take the glass off when you get a game, take the bezel off and clean the tube. And you'll be surprised. A lot of times it'll really improve the picture. And then also clean the inside of the glass, which we're going to do right now. And this is nice, tempered, tinted glass. So I want to be a little bit careful here. I don't want to break this, because that would be bad frickin' news, man. Would not be cheap to replace this if I went to a glass shop or something. They would charge me an arm and a leg for this. I mean, these pieces of glass can go for about $100. And this is tempered, and if you drop it, it'll break into like a million little diamonds. And I usually just clean the inside and then put it on the game, and then clean the outside after I put it on. Alright, so let's put the glass back on. Carefully. Oh man, it's got... someone carved their initials into it. I didn't notice that before. So I should probably put the carving towards the inside, actually, which I think is what it was. You know, these people are jerks. The vandals, the arcade vandals. Someone carved in, it looks like dive. What the heck is that supposed to mean? So we're going to put the carving on the inside so we don't see it, because I didn't actually notice that before. Some pretty heavy-duty carving to be able to carve your initials into glass. What the heck were they using? Okay, that's good. Let's go ahead and put it on the game. Perfect. And let's grab our control panel and throw that on there. Man, it's muggy out here. It is a hot day. Okay, much better. And let me just latch this back down. Okay, so we got our control panel squared away for now. All right, so the one thing I want to do now is I want to drill out the coin door. And maybe there's some little surprises in there. You never know. The game did have the manual inside the cabinet, which was nice. You gotta like it when you get the manual for a game. So let me lower the tripod down here. Okay, so I want to drill out this lock, and I've seen guys on like Clav, and I'm kind of guilty of this too. When in the beginning, you know, do I call a locksmith to open the door? I mean, come on, guys, this lock costs like $5. Okay, don't even bother with a locksmith. Don't go get keys made. Just drill the damn lock out. I mean, yeah, it can be messy, whatever. This lock costs $5 to replace, and there's no reason to do anything really but drill it out. And some guys actually get creative, though. They get lock pick kits where they learn how to pick locks. I've never done that either. I mean, I just use a good old drill. So I'm going to use a... Why isn't this working? There we go. So I have my 3/8 inch drill. My dad gave me this. This is an old school Sears Craftsman drill. But you want to get yourself a drill, you can use a cordless drill, but I find that like my cordless Makita isn't up to the task on these. You kind of need a lot of juice or amps or torque or whatever the word is. So we're going to use a electric drill. I have, I think, a 1/4 inch bit on here. And you want to get yourself a good bit, and basically, it's pretty simple, guys. Just put the drill bit on the lock, push the button on the drill, and just wait. And I actually have to torque this down here. This isn't tight enough. And yes, you are going to be destroying the lock. This lock will not be usable after you do this. And you should probably wear safety goggles. All right, here we go. I'm pushing. All right, let's go back in there. Come on. There we go. All right, we just drilled all the way through it. All right, we drilled it off. Okay, so let's see. Quarters! Yay! Oh, more quarters back here. Gotta like it when that happens. So let's see what year these are from. 2008. This is pretty new, man. Was this game on location in 2008? This is 2001. So this game came out, what, 97 we said? 87. 2006. Wow, there's a lot of new quarters in here, man. They're all like those state ones, too. Look at that. Unless somebody had this in their house, I don't know. I mean, maybe this game was on location. Looks like all the quarters, this quarter here is a 2006. Cool. All right, so we got one. Let's see how much money we made back. Should I tell Jay about this? Oh, there's more quarters back here. So we've got $1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, it's about $10 worth of quarters here. So I made $10 back for my trade. Awesome. All right, so we got the lock drilled out, and now I'll have to put a new lock on. By the way, I've heard stories about guys that have picked up games, like they'll pick up a game for $100 or $150. They'll get it home, they'll drill out the coin door, and there'll be like $200 in quarters in there. Like they spent $150, they got the game and $200 in quarters. Honestly. So, all right, I'll get a new lock and we'll throw it on there later. I'm out of locks. I need to order some new locks because I need one for my Journey too. Okay, so we got that all drilled out and we're ready for a new lock once I get it. And oh, that's hot. You do gotta be careful though, because the drill bit and the metal parts that you're drilling do get hot. So let me just pull out that old lock. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is I want to put this game on free play, and I really hope it has a good free play mode, because a lot of Nintendo games don't have a very good free play, but this was developed by Irem, so maybe it has a good free play. I don't know. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the game off actually. And I'm going to pull the PCB out. And I just kind of want to look at it too. Let's see what's going on with it. So this has like an RF shield, which is this thing right here. And so we got to pull this off, which is nothing more than pulling these little tabs out. Okay, and then we could just kind of get the board out now. And looks like we've got two. I believe this is a JAMA cabinet, so let's pull this out. Oh, that's a jumper wire. So it's just a single JAMA connection. So this is a JAMA board. Okay, so I'm going to pull this out, and let's go over to my bench. Okay, so I grabbed the manual, which fortunately came with this game, so I was lucky. And it shows me all the dip switch settings are. And I also went to arcade. I want to see what like the tournament settings are or whatever. And so they're saying 3 crafts, extra craft at 50, 150, 250, 4, and 6, and difficulty should be set to difficult. Okay, so our dip switches are right here, okay? And we have 2 switches. Looks like this is 2 and this is 1. Okay, so we want to have it, okay, so number of crafts, that's switch 1. So 1 and 2 needs to be off, and it is, okay. Sound effects in attract mode, do I want that? Yeah, we could try it out. I don't know how bad the attract is, so we're going to turn switch number 3 on right there. And let me just kind of zoom in closer so you guys can like see the dip switch. Okay, and extra craft given at, now arcade says it should be at 50, 150, 250, which is right here. So switch number 4 needs to be on, and it is, okay. Let's see, switch 5. Now the rest of this is all about a coin, and if we want it to be on free play, mode 1, 3 of dip switch 2 off. Mode 1. So I need to go to free play, and that's 5, 6, 7, 8 need to be on. So let me turn those on. 5, 6, 7, 8 on. Mode 1. And then it says here that I need to mode 1, 3 of dip switch 2 off. Mode 1. I'm not sure what that means. Mode 1. Alright, so let's go to dip switch 2. Mode 1, 3 of dip switch 2 off. What the? Mode 1, 3 of dip switch 2 off. I don't know what that means. Oh, coin mode. Okay, so that dip switch 3 needs to be set to off on dip switch 2. Okay. So that's mode 1. 3 of dip switch 2 needs to be off. Okay. Alright, so on dip switch 2, switch 1, flip pitcher, we don't want to mess with that because it's fine. Cabinet type's fine. Coin mode, we had to put that in mode 1, which will give us the free play. Difficulty, we need to set it to difficult, which is switch 4 on. 1, 2, and that it's already on that. And then 5, 6, 7, and 8 is freeze picture, no death mode, continuity. So you could turn continues off. That's kind of interesting. I kind of like that, actually. Should I turn continues off? I think I should. So switch 5 should be off. It is off, okay. Maybe that doesn't turn continues off. Continuity, oh, I see. Yes, off. So if I want to turn continues off, I need to turn dip switch 5 on. Should we try it that way? Should we be really hardcore? I hate continues. Alright, so we turn continues off. And let's leave everything else where it is. Alright, so we're ready to put this PCB back in. Alright, so let me go ahead and slide this guy in here. Which way was it? I think it was like this. I'm fairly certain this is the way it was in here. And it says on here, part side. So this is the part side. So this is right. Doesn't want to get in here. Oh, I'm doing it wrong. There we go. Okay. And that goes on here like so with part side. Okay. And we'll go ahead and close up the RF shield. Okay, we're all ready to turn it back on. So let me do that. Hopefully we didn't screw anything up. So let's go to the front. And let's play SMR type now. It should be on free play, and it is. I'm curious if we get any kind of a tracked mode here. I sure hope we do. Because if it just stuck on this screen, I'm going to turn that free play off. We can't have that. And it looks like there's no attract mode with free play. That sucks. Yeah, I can't have that, because if it's stuck on this static screen, I mean, for one, it's going to burn this image into the monitor, and two, it's lame. You got to have a track mode. You can't just have it. I'm going to actually go in the back of the cabinet and take it off free play. Okay, I have it off of free play, and now it's got the attract sounds on. Holy cow, is that annoying. I'm going to be turning that off too. I can't, listen to that. It's like the game's being played non-stop. That's going to drive me insane in the basement. So, all right, so we're just going to put a quarter in it. We're going old school here because obviously there's no good free play option for this. And actually, why don't we review the controls really fast? So we have an 8-way joystick right here. And this is an original Nintendo 8-way joystick. And then we have 2 buttons. We have force and we have fire. And you'll see how that works. The force basically controls this little pod. You can kind of send it off and bring it back, and you use that with the force button, and then fire, of course, is just fire. So why don't I go ahead now and just throw a quarter in the game. Alright, so we just coined up. And it says here, 1 player, 1 coin, 2 players, 2 coins, press 1 player button. Alright. Now this game is hard as nails, dude. And I'm sure you've played games like this, or maybe you've played this game before, but this is really one of the first games that came out with this style of play. I would say Gradius probably is the first or the most popular. And that little guy there is going to give me a little power up. Okay, see that little thing that comes out? That's my little buddy, and I can kind of call him by pressing the force button. And he can stick to the front or the back of my ship, see? Like that. And so he kind of acts as a shield. And if you hold on the fire button, you do like a kind of a pulse shot. And now I'm going to send my buddy down in there to kind of kill those guys for me. And he kind of mirrors my movements. If I go up, he goes up. And I'm going to call him back with the force button. And here comes another power-up. Now these power-ups are going to I don't want to die here. Okay, so now I've got a laser. So I just powered up my weapons. But I think this game is so badass, though. I mean, the graphics, the music, it's got the whole package. The only thing about it is that it's hard as hell. Like, frustratingly hard. Alright, so now I added this other little thing here, this little ball that's kind of following me around, that is protecting me. And now I just got another power up. And so you can see my ship keeps getting more and more powerful here. Oh, I got guided missiles. Check that out, man. I'm just gonna hang out here till it's safe. I'm actually doing pretty good. So the thing about this game, though, is once you get all these power... Oh, here comes a boss. I'm guessing there's a boss, judging by the way the level is getting dark. Yes. Wow, dude, that's epic, man. It's kind of got this cool, like, Giger style, like Aliens. Everything's kind of really organic. I'm not really sure where his weak spot is. Oh, it's that face. He's kind of getting closer to me. Do not like. Oh my god. Something tells me I'm not going to pass this. It's actually the first time I made it to him in this arcade version here. I haven't played a ton yet since I got it. Alright, so we got the guided missiles. I need some more power-ups, man. I am not going to survive and get past that boss with just this. Are you freaking kidding me? Alright, here's what I'm learning. I probably do want continues to be on, because I'm not good enough. Dude, get away from me! This game is too hard. Alright, so I got continues off. It's like okay, so I definitely need to turn continues back on. So, anyway, you guys get the idea. I mean, that's the game. What do you think? I'm horrible at these games. I'm gonna be turning continues back on because that's too hard. So, yeah, that's it, guys. That's the R-Type. I don't know, man. Really cool game. I gotta say, that was fun. I'm gonna turn continues back on. I'm gonna play more of that. And I'm definitely turning the attract sound off, but really good looking cabinet. What do you guys think? Should I restore it? Should I bring this into the basement? That's the big question. I haven't decided yet. You know, I don't have room for this game in the basement, but I like it. And it would be kind of fun to have down there. I don't have anything that's really like this, so this would be a cool game in the basement, wouldn't it? Yeah, it would, John. So we'll see what happens. But for now, I'm going to enjoy it in the garage. And, maybe I'll sell a game and bring this down there. We'll see. I could pretty much bring it down there as is, too. I'm not going to restore this one. This is a Survivor, guys. It's all original. All right, guys, there you have it. That's going to do it for this little R-Type video. Why don't we go back down to the basement? All right, guys, there you have it. That was the R-Type. And what'd you think? Pretty awesome game. Now, is it basement worthy? I haven't decided yet because what do I get rid of to bring R-Type down here? I'm actually starting to warm up to the idea that the dartboard leaves. I know. It pains me to think about it, but if anything, maybe I put the dartboard in the garage for now and just see how my life kind of feels with it in the garage, but I don't know. We'll cross that bridge later, but right now it's going to stay in the garage, and I'm going to enjoy it out there this summer, and if I really get attached to it, it's coming down here. So, anyway, that's it. I hope you guys did like that, and also, I do want to remind you guys that if you have never subscribed to my little channel, now is the time, because I release new videos every single Sunday and sometimes in between. So if you want to keep up with my videos, and I know you do, you gotta click subscribe. And also, did you guys know that I do 2 podcasts? It's true. You know, I've been doing one podcast called Video Game Outsiders for almost 10 years. That's right. You know, we won like all kinds of awards. We were voted best Xbox podcast, whatever, in like 2006. I mean, that's how long we've been doing it. And so the podcast, again, is called Video Game Outsiders. The website is videogameoutsiders.com. Definitely check that out. We do that show live every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern on allgames.com. So if you want to listen live, go to All Games, 9 o'clock Eastern. Press play and you'll hear our voices. And if you want to, listen during the week, you don't have to listen live. You can go to iTunes or Stitcher and do a search for Video Game Outsiders. I also have another podcast that I started in the last year called Arcade Outsiders that I do with my buddy Joe and Sean, and it's a lot of fun, and it's all arcade related, and it's really stupid, actually. But it's called Arcade Outsiders at arcadeoutsiders.com. Check it out there. That show is also live on All Games, but it's on Tuesdays at 11 p.m. Eastern, allgames.com, or go to iTunes and Stitcher and search for Arcade Outsiders. So anyway, that's going to do it for this little midweek video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time, because next time we're going to be back to that journey. So, all right, guys, later, and bye.